Hello friends! Today we're going to read the next part for our Sunday School stories from Easter Love Letters from God. This book is by Glenys Nellist and is published by Zonderkids. Last time we read the story of Jesus having the surprise supper with his disciples. Today we're going to read the story of what happens next after they finish dinner. It's called The Gloomy Garden, and you could read it in your Bible in Mark chapter 14, verses 32 to 42. Darkness fell as the disciples followed Jesus out into the night. Jesus walked through the quiet streets toward the Garden of Gethsemane. He wanted to pray. The moon shone through the olive trees as Jesus knelt down. The garden was gloomy. All was still. "Father, are you there?" Jesus said quietly. "Do I have to die? Is there any other way that we can teach the world about heaven?" There was no reply. Jesus sobbed. He didn't want to die, but he trusted God, and even though he felt all alone, he knew that God was with him. He was ready. So there's Jesus praying in the garden, and he knows what's going to happen, but he's asking God if there's any other way. He'll do what God needs to, but he's asking if there's some other way that this can happen. The sound of heavy footsteps broke the silence of the night. Angry shouts filled the air. Jesus looked up through his tears. Shadowy figures came toward him, torches flickering in the darkness. The soldiers were there to take him away. Jesus stood up. It was time to go. So after they've had dinner, Jesus goes to the garden. Let me see if I can hold this up. There you go. And you can see the soldiers coming to get him. And Jesus is there, and he is ready to do what he needs to do. So like our other story, we have a letter from God that tells us, "Dear friends, have you ever felt all alone like Jesus did that night? When you feel like that, I want you to remember something very important. You are never alone. I am always by your side. These soldiers might have taken Jesus away from his garden, but they could never take him away from me, and there is nothing that can take you away from me either. Remember this promise. I am always with you. Love, God." So you can remember that this week, that no matter what happens or how alone we feel or how long it's been since we've seen some of our friends in person, God is always, always with us, and nothing can ever change that. I hope you'll look at the lesson with your parents that's posted online or coming in their email. And we can keep reading the Bible together and learning apart until we get back together at church again someday soon. Have a great week.